Today I'm talking to Shannon Shepherd, and Shannon is a certified placenta encapsulation specialist, and she's also the owner of Bloom's Women's Center. Shannon, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And I've attended classes at your center. I think it's lovely. I'm fascinated with that whole concept of a center devoted to women, and I've noticed that you have things available for expectant mothers and new young mothers and just women in general. And I don't know, should we start with the center or with your placenta encapsulation business?
We could start with the center.
All right.
I care deeply about both.
Well, you know, tell me about when did you decide you wanted to get a women's center, organize a women's center, and start into that venture?
Sure. So when did I decide? My whole life, probably.
Okay. Yeah.
So maybe if we go back a tiny bit, I'm just someone who I've had years of struggles with depression, with just needing extra support, needing those lifestyle changes that really helped me personally. My depression started in childhood, and really throughout my life, I just kind of dealt with it. And it wasn't until after the birth of my first child that my depression turned into severe postpartum depression. And I finally got some help that I needed. And that help started with medication. And that led me to making some lifestyle changes. Things like nutrition, exercise, even just being more social, being more involved in my community. That's really what got me out of the funk that I dealt with for a lot of years.
Interesting.
And one of those lifestyle changes, I guess, really became around being an informed consumer related to my health and just asking questions, knowing what I'm putting in my body, even if I needed to be medicated right for some reason. So by the birth of my next child, I was really determined that I wasn't going to have postpartum depression. I was just dead set that I didn't need to. And that backstory a little bit on that was a baby that was going to be placed for adoption. And I was a single mom with a little boy and then this baby girl that I was placing for adoption. And I felt like if anyone was going to have postpartum depression, it was me, but I didn't want to. So I always get choked up. Just talking about depression and women in general, it just makes me choked up. So after I had that baby, I trained for it and ran a full marathon 5 months to the day she was born. And I never struggled postpartum. And that birth happened to be a birth for me I had a doula there. So I had someone with me coaching me through the birth and everything going on, where I was just more in tune and more informed about birth at that point. And that really led me to becoming a doula myself and just really passionate about women knowing their options during their pregnancy, their birth, their postpartum recovery, to the point of that was just what I wanted to talk to everyone about, right? And which, because I'd had that first baby that I'd struggled so much with after, and then my next birth was just a night and day difference. And I just thought, well, I didn't know that before. Maybe other people around me don't know that. And so as a doula, that led me to the placenta encapsulation part of my life. So even though I said I was going to answer the women's center question first, the placenta encapsulation, that actually comes first for me, because placenta encapsulation is something that it's becoming a lot more common for women to do. But if you go back to the 90s, 2000s here in the US, where the women having babies at home or in, the community birth setting, those were a lot of women that were telling stories of eating their placentas postpartum, and most people just thinking that was disgusting and why would you ever do that? Well, then those same women who are doing those practices on their own share these stories of feeling amazing and euphoric and really awesome postpartum, and when I say postpartum, a lot of people hear the word postpartum and they think postpartum depression. I'm talking about the year after you have a baby, that's your postpartum period, right? So these women are talking about how amazing they feel after they have their babies. So more women want to feel that way, right? And so that's where the concept of encapsulation, where we take the placenta, we steam it, we dry it, we grind it in a fine powder, and the mom just gets a little jar of pills to take, and she can feel a lot better after she had her baby as well. So things like less postpartum mood disorder, better breast milk supply, more energy. 98% of women report feeling better because they got their placenta back in their body after they had a baby. Well, when I started doing that for women that asked me to as their doula about 6 years ago, there was a lot of people that were giving me really great feedback, and a lot of people telling me they wanted to do it. And it's funny, at that time, it was a lot of people telling me, but they didn't want anyone to know. They didn't want even, they could barely get it past their husband to be okay with it. And then a lot of women would contract with me to do it for them, and their midwife or their OB, their midwife, their husband, someone would talk them out of it. That's crazy. Why would you do that? And these women would say, I really want to, but my husband says no, or my doctor says no. And I just felt so sick about that, because you have someone that's really worried about how they feel. And when I have these conversations with women about their postpartum recovery being a nightmare, being just the lowest point of their life because they have this new baby and they feel like garbage and they feel like they can't function, and at the same time they felt like taking their placenta and getting it back in their body was going to help them feel better, that's just such a tragedy to me. It makes me so sad. And so that's where now to answer your question about the Women's Center in my long roundabout way, I started to see that a lot of women believed in placenta encapsulation, or believed in the concept of getting their placenta back in their body as something that could help them recover better. But the thing that was making a lot of people really uncomfortable is that this wasn't being done professionally. And I'm not judging the people that don't do it professionally. I know where their heart is, and I know they really want to help. To me, I wanted to reach the masses with this because I believe in it so much, and it's just in my soul that this is something that more people need to know about, more people need to feel comfortable with. So the things I started to think of were, people need to be more educated about this, and also we need it done professionally, not in my own home kitchen where I can sanitize and clean my kitchen all day. It's still my own home kitchen where I'm feeding my family, where my family's coming in and out of. When I first started doing this, I did do it at home, and I would have to shut down my own home kitchen, where that's like the center of our home, right? And so I saw this vision of just a space where it was a professional kitchen. That's where the placentas were being processed, and also that I had this really high level certification that would really help me make sure that what I was doing was done correct temperatures, correct sanitation process. Everything was just super ultra safe. So then when I had these women that aren't your women that are, super ultra natural birth, having their baby at home, going to do whatever they want with their placenta, which those women are not, those are few and far between, right? Then we have the medical providers and the husbands and the partners and everyone feeling a little more comfortable because what we're doing is professional and certified, and just to me, what a lot of these women really did need to feel comfortable with it. So when I saw the Women's Center, the space I'm in now, this is actually a commercial building in my neighborhood that I had been looking for a space just for the kitchen, and my real estate agent had sent me pictures of this space, and I just remembered it as being this rundown building that was in my neighborhood. Like, I would run by it when I go jogging, or I drive my kids to school or go to church or anything, and I came inside and I could just see this vision, even through the cobwebs and the dirty floors and the ugly paint and everything. I just could feel this space of, there's my placenta kitchen, now there's this classroom, a big pain point in my life, and I know a lot of women's life, has been getting to things for myself, like a yoga class or a support group, but I don't have childcare necessarily. So we have a childcare room and just a space, a safe, comfortable space that we can meet and have people together. And the content is around therapeutic lifestyle for mental health. So it's therapeutic art, it's yoga, it's like you've come to the essential oils classes, just all those things that are beyond medication and therapy, but lifestyle that really is what a lot of people truly need. And then I have this cute little placenta kitchen that's in there as well. So that's really the two going hand in hand for me. A lot of what I try to do with the classes is not just about pregnancy and birth. We even have an adoption support group. We have an infertility support group. And then we have the birth and postpartum related things as well. But it really, to me, birth and postpartum and all of that, but also infertility and those struggles. And then even beyond that, I mean, I think of women my mom's age that come in for yoga, or that come for to learn more about how essential oils can help them through these phases of their life. Like, you know, just all the different realms of women. Women are the heart of our families. You know, if mom doesn't feel good, everyone else is struggling. And so I think that, you know, and we don't take time for ourselves like we should. And like, and not even that we should, I don't mean like going to get your nails and hair done. Like, I know that's what a lot of women need to feel good and energized, but it's like the deeper stuff that's, you know, really we don't do for ourselves. And then we're barely keeping our heads above water sometimes. So there you go.
Yeah, so I agree totally. Taking care of ourselves means a lot more than just our physical appearance.
Yes.
Our health, our well-being. Back to the placenta encapsulation, you know, I can relate, because the first time, I will be honest, the first time I heard about it, I was kind of, ew, you know, is that like cannibalism?
Yeah, I know.
And,
yep.
and I think it's an unfortunate cultural bias that we have, that you're right, with education, if we realize the hormones and the nutrients, that the placenta, of course, is rich with those because it just nourished the baby for 9 months. So, and, you know, maybe overcoming that is going to be a medical, you know, and then do you know, are you aware, is there anything official from the medical community on?
So right now there is a lot of research happening. There's an anthropologist by the name of Daniel Benishek he's out of UNLV. He's doing a big study. Just kind of the premise of that is to prove whether or not the placenta may be an inexpensive and convenient way to help women struggling postpartum. The number one complication of childbirth is postpartum mental health disorder. That's the number one complication. And so to see that this might be a inexpensive, convenient way to help women, that's what they're really trying to show. There's also a lot of research happening at Jena University in Germany. They're really deep into that as well. And right now, a lot of that research is around proving what's in the placenta, and then just studying what actual hormones and everything in it, and then how those can affect a mother. Also a lot around the safety of this. There's been, you know, there's concerns around the safety. Does it have toxins? If the mom had an infection, you know, all of that. So we're really mindful in my company about making sure that we're on top of all that. So we know, even with the COVID-19 pandemic, and knowing the way we process a placenta, it hasn't been found that a mom was a carrier of the virus that it would carry over to her placenta, but you never know what kind of contamination could be happening in a birth scenario. So we make sure everything we're doing is to temperatures that are scientific, to show that it's going to kill off any bacteria, any virus, to keep it super ultra safe that way. Some of the other research, a lot of what I do is based on the anecdotal stuff, the moms that swear by it, right? But a lot of the research around women reporting how they felt in that 98% number I told you, that's 98% of women that have consumed their placenta after having a baby say they felt better in some way. So that's a lot of, you know, the anecdotal, but then they've done research to show, because one of the questions is this placebo, which I think, I mean, a lot of people can say that about literally everything.
That's
If
true.
it's working great, but we know that after the moms consume it, they can find the hormone levels in her saliva, showing that there's levels that, you know, would help with breast milk supply or the different postpartum moods. So yes, research is happening for sure. I have personally really appreciated when the research came out proving the safety, and then everything else is just, you know, coming slowly but surely. I don't know at what point, hopefully at some point we'll have an official, you know, something more from like ACOG or, you know, one of the organizations related to women in pregnancy. But for now, I mean, I've been doing this long enough that I have women on their third and fourth babies that are coming to me repetitively. And a handful of those women didn't do it on their first and second babies. And then now they're coming back because they just feel so much better. So
They notice that
really
difference.
drives me. So
Yeah. And when you mentioned the placebo effect, in my mind, if it works, who cares? You know, your mind is powerful, and if you believe something is going to help you, it will. But you would think that if it were just strictly the placebo effect, you wouldn't see numbers as high as 98%.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot. The placebo effect, that's like a funny, in my industry, it's something we laugh about. And if you're a mom that's ever had it done yourself and have taken it, you know it's not. But I think that with everything, you know, essential oils or, you know, whatever, we could say placebo effect. But if it works, because, you know more than anyone I know how powerful our minds are. And, you know, so, but yeah, that's.
If it works, it helps people. And there aren't harmful side effects. There's been no evidence or indication that anyone has been hurt, and they've only been helped.
Yeah, we just making sure it's done correctly. I mean, we'll hear stories occasionally of different things that's where my training comes into play. I did a year-long course that taught me a lot. So that's different than, you know, just trying to.
Where did you get your training? Was this online training, or did you?
Yeah, it's an online certification. It's through the Association of Placenta Preparation Arts. That would be, in the US at least, the most comprehensive training in this industry. As of right now, myself and my other encapsulator that's here in Roy with me, we're the only people in Utah that have gone to that extent of training. But it was a good training, and it left me just feeling, when you go out there and you're trying to do something new and weird professionally, you really want to just have that solid backing that everything's safe, you know, and that it really was a good thing. So
it sounds like it was comprehensive. You're certainly well prepared to do this. You also mentioned you were a doula. Now, are you still actively involved as a doula?
So no, I love birth. I've had some amazing experiences helping women. I'm a trained hypno doula, so I would go with women that typically wanted to use hypnosis for pain during their birth. That was really fun to me. That aspects of running this business that I have, and I'm on call for placenta encapsulation clients. I mean, at any given moment, 5 to 7 women at one time, you know, are waiting, could be ready for me. So yeah, that got to be really hard, because doula work can be a challenge. It can be keep you up all night, 2 nights in a row.
Oh yeah. My hat's off to doulas. They're 24/7 on call. So where did you get your training for the helping women who wanted to use hypnosis?
So Hypno Babies, you know of Hypno Babies. They,
Okay, yes, I have heard. Yeah,
yeah, so it's just, yeah, another version of hypnobirthing that you're
yeah, yeah.
in. I love. So they do a doula training course.
Uh-huh.
So, and I've used hypnosis for pain management in childbirth for 3 of my births myself. So I
Uh-huh.
have experience of my own, and then finally thought I should get the deeper training to help as I was taking doula clients that wanted that specialized training.
And I loved what you were saying about making the comment that you wanted to make sure women were aware of the options they have. I think that's so critical
Yeah.
that people know what's available.
Yeah.
I get kind of concerned if they just go, you know, just make an appointment with their OBGYN and then, okay, whatever you say.
Yeah.
And they are not, I don't think they're highly trained and skilled, but I don't think they are aware of all of the options that women have now.
Yeah, I think that's very true. And I think anyone in the birth worker world has a great heart. They are there to help bring healthy, safe life into the world. I have so much respect for that. But I also think it's not cookie cutter,
Yeah.
and so important that we know what's right for us, because just checking boxes and going through I think of being a doula at some of the hospitals, and I worked at Applebee's for a lot of years ago, and I had this, it was just this routine you do of get them in, get their drink, get them out, you know, like get them in and out as fast as you can. And I felt that vibe in the hospital so many times. And I've been in situations myself as a birthing mother and with doula clients and just talking to people in general of just seeing these questions and concerns and unexpected things happen in a birth scenario that you just have no idea. And if you can go in and, I mean, even to the point of certain interventions that can be done, or newborn routine type things that they're just doing to your baby or doing to you, and you don't even know what's going on. And then later there's trauma, or you just, if you can just kind of know what's going on and at least go in with a little bit of background, you know,
Yes.
then just, you know, it's like plan for the worst, hope for the best, or what, you know, just
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of,
But you're right, being prepared, having the information you need. And I think it's fair to say now, I want the interventions that are appropriate for my case, not just the interventions you do all the time.
right.
Because sometimes you're right, they're not needed.
Yeah. And we just do, yeah, we just hook women up to things and get them going for labor. And there is a place for that. And I think I don't ever mean to discount anyone's choice in birth. I can see a level of a woman that needs to have a little more predictability. I'm someone who I actually loved flying by the seat of my pants. One of my babies was almost born in the car. That was really fun to me, you know, but not everyone feels that way. And and there's health reasons that we need to have certain interventions, but I think we will realize how much better we actually feel about our births and how much better we recover postpartum when we do let our bodies do what they're meant to do, a little more than just a, you know, scheduled induction. I hear scheduled induction and I think, what's wrong? Are you okay? Is the baby okay? Well, it's just my doctor's going out of town, or I don't want to have the baby, you know. That to me is like, and those are the moms, I'm not kidding you, those are the moms that are struggling the postpartum time the most, you know. And so I respect your wishes, but I think a little more of, you know, just, it's okay.
Yeah.
You're pregnant forever, you know. And so,
you know, and we're blessed to live in this time. We have all the medical know-how we need in case there's a complication or special circumstance. And, you know, we have more options. So why not be aware of all of the options? And you're right, find the one that works best for you. I love that mothers now can do that.
yeah.
So at your center, Bloom Center in Roy, you have, I know you have prenatal yoga classes and other yoga classes. I've been there for the essential oil class, and it also looked like you kind of had a boutique of, well, right behind you. Isn't that?
Oh, yeah. So we have a little bit of retail. So you can see the gowns right there. So
Yeah.
So those are birthing gowns. They're called Dear Darby gowns. They're really great for women who don't want to wear the hospital gown when they're having their baby. I've heard that the number one complaint of women giving birth in the hospital is actually wearing the gown. So this company makes these really gorgeous, comfy, versatile gowns. Also great to wear after you've had the baby. Women will even get them for their home birth or their birth center birth, but they sell these gowns online. We're the only location that you could actually physically come and try one on. So you can't buy it here, but we do have a coupon code. So if you come here, you try on and you figure out the style of top and bottom and the size and everything you need. And then we'll write that down for you and you can go home and order it online. But this is a way that you can try it on and not have to order it based on what you're seeing. So that's one thing. We also have a few herbal, healthy, different types of balms and different things here that are from Paradise Farms Herbal Apothecary. She's in North Ogden. She just makes some really great things as well, some teas and different things. So yeah, we do have a little bit of retail here, not a ton of that right now, especially we haven't been open the last 2 months.
Yeah.
And then we have the classes, kind of a range.
A wealth of information available through your center.
Yeah, we have the Yo Massage class. Have you heard of Yo Massage? That's yoga and massage combined. In the office right next to me here, the person, Shayna Taylor, who teaches the Yo Massage, which is lovely. She'll do open houses from time to time as well. And then she also does electrolysis here in the office. She uses a space, so that's kind of fun. Just an extra service. And then classes, there's the prenatal yoga. There's just regular yoga, restorative yoga. There is a postpartum support group, a birth group, an infertility support group, an adoption support group. From time to time, we'll have Meet the Doulas nights where we'll bring in a lot of the best doulas in our community and women looking to learn more about doulas or to find a doula can come and meet and ask questions. We've had therapeutic art nights, so lots of cool things. Couples massage, actually, that's been in here a few times, and once we get the go-ahead that we can have things like that back, we'll have more things. But yeah, really just a lot of things around trying to help people connect with themselves and their partners, their families, and just feel their best.
It sounds wonderful. It sounds wonderful. So what's the best way for people to contact you and find out?
So best place for me would be probably through social media. So Facebook or Instagram. We're at Bloom, like the flower bloom, birth, like you're giving birth, Utah. That's on Instagram and Facebook, and just messaging through there is a good place.
Okay. And you have a website?
Yep, the website is bloomwomenscenter.com.
All right. Well, that's great. Thank you, Shannon, so much. It was wonderful to talk to you and find out the many information and services you offer to the community.
Yeah, I have to put a plug in. We're really excited we have a childbirth education class here now, but we're excited for when we can bring in your hypnobirthing as well. And
yeah,
that's just going to be great. So
I am excited to get that going too. Wonderful information.
Yeah, it'll be good. So
calm, comfortable, instinctive birth. So.
Yes, it's what we want.
All right. Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.